This is Anabolic Academy, only on serious and silliness bodybuilding. Happy Memorial Day. I know by the time you see this, Memorial Day will be over, but as I'm recording it, it is Memorial Day, and I thought it would be appropriate to wear my camo hat for all the military guys and gals that protect this country and give us our freedom. So much love and respect to the United States Armed Forces. Now, Anabolic Academy, what is it? If you are just tuning in and this is the first time you're watching it, Anabolic Academy is the portion of my channel where you ask me questions about bodybuilding, fitness, or anything you'd like, and I answer them. How can you reach me? Serious and Silliness on Instagram, John Livia, Facebook, John Livia, TikTok. Email me, Uncle John 1201 at Gmail, or John_Livia at yahoo.com. Now we are going to get right into the questions. I only have 3 questions, technically 4, because one is in 2 parts. And of course, the first question is from, if I could get to it. Open it up. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. What's happening? There we go. Holy shit, I can't get to the questions. All right. And of course, it is Fran is the man. Because guess what? Fran is the man. Anyway, do you ever plan on having your wife on your show as a podcast guest? I actually, when I got this question, I asked her again, and she said no. She absolutely refuses to come on. She does not want to be seen. She does not want to be famous. She has no interest on coming on. She does help and support, like, in the background, but she does not want to be on the show. The only way that you're ever going to see her is if you meet her in person, because believe me, there's been plenty of times that I've tried to get her on the show. As a matter of fact, it's actually a funny story. When I first started my channel, I didn't know what direction I was going to go in. I knew I wanted to start a channel, but I didn't know which way I was going to go. At the time, I wasn't thinking bodybuilding, but okay. So I found this YouTube channel, and it was a guy and girl. They were a husband and wife, and they were just having fun. What they would do is they would watch comedians, or they would watch like South Park or something funny, and they would laugh and comment, and they would drink while they would do it, and it looked fun. But the thing was, the wife had these giant boobs, right? And she used to wear something low cut or pushed up. And of course, they had like 50,000 subscribers because of her giant boobs. So I showed it to my wife one day, and I looked over at her, and I was like, and she just looked at me and she goes, "Don't even think about it." And that pretty much ended her YouTube career right there. But unfortunately, she will not be with us. Now, the second question from Vigar. Vigar has become somewhat of a friend. Again, I'm not going to be able to pronounce your last name, but on Instagram, it is Vigar_Seljenes, Seljenes. Was bodybuilding better in the early 2000s? That is actually a really good question. Now, when you say the early 2000s, when Ronnie Coleman was Mr. Olympia, especially from 1998 to about 2003, bodybuilding was fantastic. We had a lot of talent. The guys were great. I mean, you had Jay Cutler was coming up. You still had Laverne, Sean Ray. You had Marcus Rule. I mean, you go down to Milos. You had some great, great, great bodybuilders. The Jay Cutler era, nobody ever wants to admit this, but after 2005, the Jay Cutler era, from like, whenever it was, 2006 to whatever, 2011, give or take, I don't remember, 2010, whatever it was. There was kind of a dip in talent in bodybuilding. So you had Jay Cutler, who was Mr. Olympia. You had Branch Warren, who was fantastic, don't get me wrong. And you also had Dexter, who, of course, was one of the greatest bodybuilders ever to walk the earth, but he was a smaller bodybuilder. And you also had the Dominican Dominator, Victor Martinez. Sorry, Victor Martinez. And as good as they were, rather, they weren't as good as the Ronnie Coleman era with the Lavrones and the Lee Priests and the Milos and Marcus Rule and Sean Ray. And they certainly wasn't as good as the Phil Heath era. When the Phil Heath era came along, now you had Phil, Kai, Roden, Branch was still in the mix, Dexter was still in the mix, Dennis Wolf. You had really, really, really good bodybuilders during that era. So that's how I break it down. I feel like from 2006 to 2010, 2011, there was kind of a drop in talent, and then it kind of took off again with Phil Heath era. So my opinion, all in all, early 2000s, when you say 2000 to 2010, give or take, I think the talent pool is better now than it was then. And I know I'm going to get shit for it. I know people are going to say I'm crazy, blah, blah, blah. But I really think the talent pool of bodybuilders is better now. And one of the ways that I kind of defend that topic is the fact that we don't have a dominant Mr. Olympia. The Mr. Olympia every year since Phil Heath has been up for grabs. Now you could say maybe it's political, or you could just say that, it is extremely competitive. I mean, you've had Roden, Big Ramy, Brandon Curry, Hardy, Derek Lunsford. This is the first time in a long time where, the Mr. Olympia contest is up for grabs. It is not safe. Where when you had Ronnie Coleman, it was pretty much Ronnie and everybody else who came in behind him, right? Because Ronnie was the greatest bodybuilder ever. And then you had Jay Cutler. And of course, Jay Cutler was pretty dominant, but he did lose to Dexter and then came back stronger than ever the following year. But I truly think the talent pool and the talent pool coming up gets better and better and better. And simply because another way I defend this point of view is there are no holes barred in bodybuilding. There's no rules. You could do whatever it takes to make you a better bodybuilder. You could take whatever supplement, whatever drug, whatever new thing comes out on the market. It's nobody's holding any of these bodybuilders back. So obviously, with advances in medication, with advances in drug use, with advances in nutrition, with advances in working out, with advances in supplement, these guys just get better and better and better and better and better, right? So that's how I defend that point. But that's just an opinion. It is my opinion. I believe my opinion to be accurate, but that is my opinion. Now, last question, but this question is in two parts. The question is from Anna DXO. How much protein should you eat or drink after a workout? Do you believe in using magnesium? What other benefits when do I take it? Okay, now, two parts. When it comes to protein, after a very strenuous workout, you probably want to have a fast-acting protein shake, like a whey protein. I mean, obviously, the more you put in it, like, things like, if you put bananas or peanut butter or granola or oatmeal, it's going to be processed as food. But you still want to use a whey isolate because it's still going to be faster than a casein or faster than a whey, just whey in general, right? Now, as far as how much to take, and rule of thumb is right after a workout, you want to get that nutrition in as soon as possible. So after a workout, you down and shake, and then maybe an hour and a half later, then you kind of can have a meal, right? Rule of thumb is anywhere from 20 grams of protein to about 50 grams of protein because everybody's different, I might take in 40 grams of protein, but Big Ramy's got to take 60 grams of protein because he's just a bigger person and he needs more protein. He has more muscle that he has to repair and so on and so forth. So that's basically what I would do. Now, my favorite post-workout shake would be 2 scoops of a whey isolate, a scoop of Carbolon, which is a fast-acting carbohydrate, which we all know we need a fast-acting carbohydrate right after a workout, a scoop of glutamine, a scoop of creatine, and then you could kind of doctor it up to make it taste better. You put a banana in it, you put peanut butter in it, so on and so forth, whatever it takes might be, and you down that, and that gives you all the nutritional value to help grow muscle. And then maybe an hour might be a little too soon. You might be still too full. But if you're trying to put weight on, then yeah, an hour later. If you're not trying to put weight on, then your next meal should be, maybe 2 hours later to get that, additional amount of protein. But if you're trying to put the muscle on, yeah, you're going to have to eat again about an hour later because you're going to try to take in as much protein as possible in order for you to grow, muscle. That's just the way it goes. Now, the second part of the question is magnesium. Okay, yes, you should take magnesium. You should take a calcium, magnesium, zinc, or a multi-mineral every day. Magnesium is good for bones, nerves, muscle growth, helps balance sugar levels. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. And the best time to take it would be at night because magnesium does have a calming effect. So you want to take it at night before you go to bed. And I believe the daily allowance is about 400 milligrams per day, if I'm concerned. So yes, of course, magnesium should be. If you don't take magnesium, you could probably have some heart trouble later on. And I mean, if you're magnesium deficient. So you don't just want to take magnesium. You want to take kind of a multi-mineral, a quality multi-mineral, a quality multivitamin. And you want to take, things like CoQ10 for cell reproduction. And what else? You want to take additional vitamin D and vitamin C. I'm trying to think of what else. All right, what do I take? So I take a multi-mineral. I take a multivitamin. I take additional vitamin C. I take additional vitamin D. I take CoQ10. I take fiber every day. And that's basically everything for as far as the vitamin mineral thing goes, right? And obviously you take your whey protein and your food and your nutrition. So that answers that. Now, we had a great showing from Tony Burton this weekend. He really was a class act. He looked amazing at the Cali Pro. And the next contest we have will be Toronto in 2 weeks, I believe. Yes, 2 weeks. So that will be interesting. So don't miss Muscle Talk when we have the guys on. We'll be talking about what happened at the Cali Pro and who's competing in the Toronto Pro. And then after Toronto, I believe there is a show in Spain. And I'm pretty sure Mike Crizzo will be doing that. The guys that are in shape that came to the States from Europe, like Imar Majorak and whoever else, Pablo, are going to be in that show because they're already in shape. And it's in Spain. So it's in their home. It's in their, part of the world. And I mean, I was really impressed with some of the guys that came from Europe. I mean, that guy Pablo, Amir, they came in really good. It looked fantastic. But all right, guys, that does it for Anabolic Academy. I will see you next time. When is next time? Oh, yeah. I record this on Monday. So you guys will be seeing this on Tuesday morning. So I will see you next time on Tuesday morning on Anabolic Academy. But it will be muscle talk, and I'm sure there'll be something else that I'll come up with. I'm going to have to talk about some kind of gossip or crap, whatever. Bodybuilding. Come on. Like, share, subscribe.